Hello and welcome, guys, to the Nothing But Football podcast. As you can see, things have changed. There's a new host in town. And, yeah, it's going to be a new experience. But welcome, guys. Hope you guys have had a good week. I hope you guys have had a good week. I'll first start by asking my friend, Uncle Curtis, how has your week been?
It was a terrible week, man. Another loss. I don't know what to do anymore. I think I'm going to give up on football and start following the exciting world of 10-pin bowling on the
It's fine. Let's have these conversations. This is your venting session, so let's have it. And across over there for me, it's my boy Lucas.
Away. I'm all good. Interesting week, but 9 goals. I'm happy.
Oh, yes. I actually forgot about that.
High on the hierarchy still.
You couldn't even wait to rub it in, eh? Yes. So yeah, it's been an interesting week of football. But other than that, guys, you guys good?
Yeah, good.
Good.
No, man, that's great. It's been an interesting week of football. We saw some high scores. Some people here happy, some aren't. I'm one of the people who aren't happy, but let's get into it. In the first couple of fixtures, we'll start with the Arsenal game. No, actually, we don't need to start with the Arsenal game. I'll start like Lucas.
Let's start there.
No, there's no need. There's games we missed out on. So I'll look at the games that were on Wednesday, the 3rd of February. If you look here, it's Man City went against Burnley. They beat them 2-0. Leicester beat Fulham 2-0. Surprising event. Everton 1-2-1 against Leeds. No other interesting fixtures except the last one. Liverpool lost against Brighton.
Are you gonna ignore my boy J Lings?
Hey?
My boy J Lings.
Okay, fine.
The West Ham.
I'll give your boy credit. I was quite impressed with him. But the fixture on that day that was actually quite the highlight was Liverpool losing to Brighton. Let's get into that one. I think that's the one that we want to get into. So it seems as though Brighton pulled off an upset against Liverpool. They beat them 1-0. Steven Alzate scored that with a Leandro Trossard assist. Any thoughts on that game, guys?
Me, not much thoughts. Liverpool have been struggling all year this year.
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool fans, stop making excuses. We know that you're missing centre backs. When people used to complain that injuries, you guys would say, no, but it's part of football. It's part of football. Alright? It's part of football. We don't care if you're missing your 2 favorite central defenders. I'm normally your defender in terms of injuries, but since nobody got love for Arsenal, I'm not giving anybody love. That's all I have to say on that result.
Interesting thoughts from you, Uncle Curtis. Lucas.
The agenda started early.
No. I'm going to.
No, I'm saying Uncle Curtis.
I'm going to be the objective guy. I'm weighing out this debate. Yeah. So, Lucas, what do you think about that Liverpool?
Yeah. That one I'll actually give to Burnley. So I was watching the game and
Brighton.
Sorry, Brighton. Not your favorite club, not that. I'll actually give it to Brighton. I think they had a good performance. I think they were worthy of the win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Liverpool lost to Burnley and it was that like penalty smash and grab type of thing. I thought Brighton were good for their win. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, if I look at that game, it's something that was inevitable to happen. I think Alisson missed that game. Of course, that's a big guy to miss out on the game. Same Liverpool problems in the defense. Nathaniel Phillips had to come in and Henderson at the back.
Yeah.
You can clearly tell that there was going to be a problem with the defense. And Brighton obviously is one of those teams. If you sleep on them, they're going to give you trouble.
Yeah.
So I won't say I wasn't surprised by that result, but I feel as though, Liverpool's time was coming. They needed a reality check as what's going on in the back was not going to go on for that long.
Long unbeaten runs will always end in spectacular failure, though.
Indeed.
2 losses at Anfield in a short space of time after 69, whatever. Lucas, you dare mention Arsenal on the slap.
Long unbeaten runs end in spectacular thing. It's like poetic justice. Anyway, go on.
All right. I'll look at another fixture from the Wednesday games. 3-1 between the game of Aston Villa and West Ham. West Ham took that 3-1. If we look at that, it was a debut game for Jesse Lingard. Lucas.
What's his things? What is it?
Jeez, anyway. That weird sound. Lucas, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
What does that performance tell you as a United supporter?
It tells me United's training is competitive because that man's fit. That man was fit. Played very well.
Okay.
United boy, love him. Happy for him.
So you've got no questions about why a player has been left out of that side, of your Man United side, in Jesse Lingard?
Yeah, he was left out for 3 years, Chief.
No, I get you.
That was not.
He was left,
not a hard one.
He was left out for 3 years, but you guys seem to have had problems in that, in that midfield of yours. Don't you think he would have fit in nicely?
No, because that's Bruno's position.
Now I get you, it's Bruno's position, but Jesse's a versatile player.
Yeah. Look, I would be happy to have him, and as Ollie has actually said, sending him out to West Ham is that you hope he gets his games, whatever, and comes back to United and be a good player. Look, he fell off for a little bit due to a lot of personal reasons and that kind of thing, but
personal reasons meaning his mom died and he has to take care of the kids. Oh, how sympathetic of Man United supporters. Anyways, Curtis, I have some questions for you. How did you view that game? Sorry, let me stop you there.
Tailings Ballon d'Or.
No. Because I'm going to further elaborate on what I wanted to ask. From a point of view where Aston Villa has now lost the game, where they looked like they were in control of not necessarily the season, but they had an upbeat season. What do you think of that?
Oh man, Aston Villa were down to go down, in a dip of form. Ollie Watkins has got 10 goals for the season. I think 3 of those came against Arsenal, so he's got 7 goals.
4. No.
3. 2 goals in the first leg and then 1 goal in the second leg.
And that hat-trick from Liverpool.
Against Liverpool.
Yeah.
So that man's sitting with 6 goals against traditionally top 6 teams. Alright? Then you look what Ollie Watkins is doing the rest of the season. He's played 23 games. He's got 4 goals amongst the rest of the Premier League squad. That's not good enough.
For Aston Villa?
For a striker.
Where?
In league. If you're just scoring against the big teams in one game and then the rest of the season you're not scoring against any of the opposition, to me that's not good enough as a striker.
Okay, fair enough. Like the Aston Villa, they finished 17th and celebrated last season.
It's a good return in relation to Aston Villa, but as a striker, it's not a good enough return. Because then what's going to happen over there, you're going to fall into the trap of thinking a striker is better than he actually is. Right? Because it's 3 goals against Liverpool. It's not going to happen every week. It's 3 goals against Arsenal. It's not going to happen. Okay, fine, it happens every week since it's 2 games in a row he's got over there. So now he's sitting on 6 goals, and then you got 4 goals in 21 other games. What are you doing those 21 other games? Are you working hard? If you're telling me he's working hard, get that man out my football team. I don't want James Milner. I don't want Jordan Henderson. Those are not my type of soccer players that I want, especially no less in a striker. All right? A man that worked hard for me was Heskey, and Heskey at least provided goals to Michael Owen. Ollie Watkins is just wasting chances, especially when you look that he's got Grealish in the team, sitting on 10 assists.
It seems as though you have an issue with Ollie Watkins. I'm going to try pinpoint where this issue came from. Is that because many Arsenal fans have been crying for a striker like Ollie Watkins?
Yes, because they're stupid. I'm not going to lie to you. If you're an Arsenal supporter and you say you want Ollie Watkins at Arsenal, you are stupid. And there's no way to mince my words about that. You're a dumb man for the simple fact of Ollie Watkins is sitting on 10 goals. As I said, Grealish is sitting on 10 assists. Okay. Grealish, you can see, maybe deserves to go to a higher club. Okay. Right? You're saying that Ollie Watkins is doing a better job than like a Zet and Aubameyang this season, right? Aubameyang is on a bad run of form. Ollie Watkins wishes he can get a return that Aubameyang did in one of his many seasons. Alright? Lacazette is on 8 goals and Arsenal have been dreadful offensively.
Okay.
Dreadful.
But I think we're getting sidetracked here. You bringing on your own issues. We're talking about Aston Villa. Anyways, let us look at the other games. I think from the Wednesday fixtures, we have one more to look at that was interesting. Well, interesting. Because of the top 6 opponent. Man City beat Burnley 2-0. Surprise, surprise. Do we care?
Nah, they got the black guy. Say we care now.
Yes.
No. I'll give you your take as to why you care. I'm going to ask you why you care about that game because there is a good race going up there on the top.
Good race.
So
yeah,
there's no race there.
No, there's a race.
There's no race.
Don't take away credit from Man United.
Like,
you Arsenal supporter. Shame on you.
No, there's no such. It's like
Man United. I'll stop. I'll stop this Man United guy.
Usain Bolt plays against how many opposition?
Was it ever in competition?
Top 8, doesn't it?
I'll stop you. Let's get into it, Lucas. With the Man City game. Man City took down Burnley away from home. 2-0. Goals by Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
With assists from the normal man, Ilkay Gundogan.
Yeah.
How did you find that game?
I thought it was good to watch because that was City's 13th win in a row, all competitions. Right? So I think it was definitely entertaining because when you're watching a good team click into gear, I think that's always a good watch. I think Ruben Diaz again, like I said last time, I think City have horses for courses. You know what I mean? Like if it's a physical game, they're winning it. If it's a football game, they're winning it. That kind of thing. So I think it was a very good performance by them. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. I'd like to make another apology to Burnley. It seems as though they've got another black player by Richard Norte.
They moved on from talking.
So there's 2 black players. But that's me deviating from the point. But yes, Lucas, I hear what you're saying. Ruben Diaz has been very fantastic. He's handled himself. Everyone he seems to be playing with, he makes them better.
Yeah.
So we need to give him credit. From your side, Uncle Curtis, Man City, what would you think of their performance against Burnley?
Man City are kicking into gear. They're showing the quality that they are. I was doubting their goal scoring ability. It's fairly inconsistent from game to game. One game they're winning 5-1, the next game they're winning 1-0. But that's the true test of champions, if you look at it in that way. So I can't fault them for that because they're finding a way to win these games. And 13 games in a row is a tough feat to beat.
Exactly.
We'll discuss the other game where they went on to go to 14 to beat the great manager over there to pass that level over there. But Man City, Pep, looks like he might walk away with it if he let him do this.
Indeed. Then we look on to the other fixtures. There was a game on Thursday, 4th of February. Chelsea vs. Tottenham Hotspurs. If you guys didn't know, I think this was the 3rd game of Thomas Tuchel's reign.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes. So he took on Tottenham away from home, and they beat Tottenham 1-0. Guys,
it was a penalty, hey?
Yes, it was a penalty from
yeah.
Jorginho. I think it was Timo Werner who won the penalty.
Yeah.
Yes. Guys, I'll start with you, Lucas. Any thoughts?
It was good from Thomas Tuchel. I think a very even game. Remember, it's a penalty, and it's one of those. It's sad that that's a penalty, but it is a penalty. You know what I mean, that kind of thing. But Chelsea again moving the ball around quite a bit. He's gone back to Antonio Conte tactics. So it looked good there. That was, I don't think Kane played there for Spurs, obviously. So I think that's one of the games.
We need to start figuring out what drugs Spurs are pumping into Kane for him to come back from serious injuries 2 games later.
Yeah, I think this was the first game after he got injured during the...
Yeah, he was out for about a week or so.
Yes, it was essentially out for a week. His time was unknown, but it seems as though he's come back to to play. Credit to the Tottenham Hotspurs medical staff with that.
And whatever steroids they're giving him.
Yeah, they can't find them. So what can you say?
You can say some strong things.
Yes. So
this is an Arsenal fan whose team has injuries, and then obviously other people's teams are fit.
And for
context,
I'd like to ask you guys a question. Looking at that game from both views, it seems as though Tottenham struggled without Harry Kane. Any thoughts on that? What implications does Kane's absence have in the team setup for Tottenham? I'll ask you, Uncle Curtis.
Tottenham without Kane, they finished 10th. Tottenham without Kane, unless they replace.
Wait, where's Arsenal?
We're 10th.
Well, you're 11th.
Yeah, we're 11th.
So if they finish 10th, they finish above you?
No, they don't.
Oh, okay.
They drop it.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, cool.
Right, but that's the way I view it, because without Kane, there's no goals. Talking about the game that they played over the weekend, what happened? Kane played, Tottenham scored 2 goals. Without Kane, no goals. They're losing games. So that's the way I look at it, because it wasn't the first loss that Tottenham had. They also lost to another stupid team the week before that. I think it was Brighton or something like that. So, yeah, without Kane, Tottenham shadow over side. I can't think of the team right now. When he hits me during the podcast, I'll tell you which team I'll compare them to without Kane.
Okay. Interesting. Lucas, from your point of view?
Yeah, I think Spurs, I think Mourinho's tactics and his way about going about football, I think this era doesn't have the right centre backs for Mourinho's football. This era, there's no Terry and Carvalho. There's no Gallas and whoever. There's no whatever. So, I mean, Eric Dyer and whatever. Look, I think that's their bigger issue at centre back than really Kane. But obviously, Kane is the reason they score goals. So
the reason for being.
Exactly. So without Harry Kane, I think it's difficult, because I mean, you have 2 players attacking basically. So Harry Kane gets the ball, holds the ball, turns the ball, passes the ball, and scores the goal. He's doing more than an average player. So when he's replaced, you don't get anything near that. You actually need 2 players to replace him, probably.
So you're saying that football has moved on from Mourinho football?
No, I think Mourinho's football can still work. I think he doesn't have the centre backs for it. This era doesn't have the centre backs.
So it's moved on if this era doesn't have the centre backs for it?
No. It's not moved on. It can still work.
But there's no centre backs.
Yes, but then I wouldn't say it's moved on.
It's moved on if there's no centre backs to that ilk.
No, how is it moved on?
It's moved on because there's no centre backs to that ilk.
Maybe next year there's more centre backs. Then it comes back. Or what is that? No, it's still here.
Oh, so you're saying he hasn't discovered, so his recruitment is what's failing?
No, I think there's a dearth of good centre backs.
Okay, but then you're saying he doesn't have the centre backs he wants.
Yes.
Okay.
So remember in Mourinho's winning eras, right?
Yeah.
He wins with Terry and Carvalho. Are they the best centre backs in the world? No, they're very up there. But the league has Olaf Malberg at Aston Villa. It has Vidic and Ferdinand or whatever. There's a whole.
Yes.
He could have Gallas on his bench. Mm-hmm. Now there's Eric Dyer in your starting 11.
Right. But what I'm trying to pinpoint here is where the failure is. Is it with Mourinho not recruiting the centre backs he wants, or there's just no centre backs like that? Because it's one of the two. It can't be there's no centre backs and then Mourinho's not at fault, right?
No, he is at fault, right? Definitely.
So then Mourinho's at fault.
Yes. Let me interrupt your pointless conversation to go to the next game, because we're just dilly-dallying around over stupid things. Centre back this, centre back that. Let's look at the games from the weekend.
We're skipping Tuesday, Chief.
Right?
We're skipping Tuesday.
Oh, forgive. I'm so sorry, bro. We record, guys, for context, we record on Tuesdays. So I didn't look at Tuesdays. So forgive me, Lucas. I almost took away a big part of the conversation from you. 2 parts, actually. We'll start with the first game, which was Wolves versus Arsenal. Wolves took that 2-1. They played at the Molineux, and they beat us. Let me look at who scored. It was a penalty from Ruben Neves. And another one from João Moutinho. Fabulous goal. I remember that. 2 red cards in the Arsenal game from David Luiz, who gave away the penalty, and Bernd Leno, who tried to fool everyone by hitting the ball with his hand. But Nicolas Pepe scored a fabulous goal in that game. I'd like to start with the Arsenal supporter here. Uncle Curtis, what did you think of that game?
Screw refs. I'm tired of complaining about English refs. Screw refs. Very inconsistent. I'm going to move on. People can tell me it's a red card all you want. Screw you guys too. It was never a red card. Not to me. Not when you clip in your studs are clipping the knee. Your studs are clipping the knee. That's a yellow to me at best.
I'm going to divert here, Lucas. Sorry. I'm going to try have an engaging conversation
100%,
with Uncle
100%.
Curtis.
I actually want to hear this.
Yes, by calling that, do you think that those red cards were justified?
No. The second one is not the first one.
The first one?
Not the first.
Okay, but in a similar game, that same day, there was a red card with the same incident. Don't you think that there was a little bit of consistency in the reffing in that day? No matter how bad, but there was consistency.
No, not when one is overturned and the other one is not.
No, that's a different subject.
It's a different subject, but poor reffing is poor reffing. Because you have to look at it in the whole context. If they overturned one, it was a poor ref decision, even though they went to VAR and was...
You know what happened? You walked through Sunnyside and you got mugged. Your cell phone got stolen. And my cell phone also got stolen in Sunnyside. The difference between the two of us is they gave you your SIM card back.
But
that's all that happened. Okay. At the end of the day, we both got mugged, bro.
Yeah, you know.
You made that decision to walk through Sunnyside.
At the end of the day, we were both hard done by.
Yes, we both got mugged.
Terrible, inconsistent refereeing.
Who told you to walk through the part of Sunnyside?
Hold on. Can I ask you both? The David Luiz red card, right? According to the rules of the game, right? The rules set out before the game even played. Do you guys think that's a red card according to the rules? Did the referee at least play out the rules correctly?
I think so.
Since you're asking, I think there's a rule. It's an unwritten rule called the double jeopardy rule. Essentially, if you are the last man and you take down the guy in the box, if it's not a malicious foul and you've awarded the penalty, they're saying like there's no point in punishing you twice. So we'll give you the penalty and a yellow card. Essentially, what was supposed to happen in a perfect world, was David Luiz was meant to get concede a penalty and just get a yellow card. It was 2 harsh decisions, which essentially changed the game. So, according to the rules, no, it shouldn't have been a red card. But consistency. It happened in another game later on, which we will discuss. I'm sure Lucas is looking forward to that. But yeah, that's my point of view.
Refs are terrible. Screw Peter Walton also, he's stupid.
So, did the referee play out the rule correctly? Should it have been a penalty? Should it have been a red card?
Should have been a penalty, yes. Not a red card.
Interesting. But yes, nonetheless, I feel like we're spending a little bit too much time on that game. People are upset here. But from my signing off on that, I think Arsenal started the game off well. The red card changed everything. And then, we went back to playing stupidly. But that's it. Let's talk about another game that happened on that night, on Tuesday. Manchester United played against Southampton. And then Manchester United pulled off one for the record books by giving Southampton 9. In that game as well, 2 red cards, many goals. I'm not going to go much into details, but I'll just go into details about the essentially top performers. It would obviously be Bruno Fernandes with the 2 assists and a goal. Martial had 2 goals in there. But besides that, it was just the overall team contribution. Let me start with you, Lucas, since it's your team. How did you feel about that game?
Yeah, it was a good one-off game. It was a good one-off game. I don't think, obviously it's during the season, so you'd want to put this game into the context of the season. But I just sort of want to bring it back to the game in itself. It was a good game. This team can score goals, and they did.
Prime Barcelona.
Hey?
Prime Barcelona, your team on that night.
Sorry?
Were they prime Barcelona on that night, your team?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, that's awesome.
I guess.
Yes.
We have prime Ben.
Just a side note, just not to forget, Southampton got a red card.
Potion, you see your boy over here is busy laughing, man. The day his team starts losing, man. Do not hold me back when I start laughing at this man.
Oh no.
Sure. But will I start with prime Barcelona?
I won't do that. But I just want to point out the fact that Southampton had 2 red cards, one in the second minute, which kind of changed the game, and one in the 86th.
Yeah.
I think in the 86th minute, there were 2 goals conceded.
The second red card was at like 6-0 already.
Yeah, it was 6-0 already.
Yeah.
Yes, Bednarek. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was 6. No. It was 7. Forgive me.
He got the record for the penalty to make it 7, I think.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Bruno Fernandes got a goal 87th minute, which made it 8, and then Daniel James 9. So, yeah. Uncle Curtis, I'd like to ask you, since a similar situation happened with the Arsenal game, how do you feel about that red card?
Mike Dean must retire. He's terrible.
Oh, the red cards.
He is how old? 47 or 51. No 51-year-old man should be chasing 30-year-old men on the pitch. Get out of there, because you can't keep up with the pace. Your eyesight is bad. You went to go review that on VAR 13 times and you couldn't see Martial died. Please retire. Sorry for your death threats, but you're a terrible ref. Retire.
I'm not sorry. But anyways, yes, I think I feel a similar way, because that red card was rescinded, but apparently it was rescinded because there was no contact. I don't know how a professional like Mike Dean didn't see that, because he actually went to the monitor and spent quite a bit of time looking over that red card. But other than that, it's not the first time. Well, it's the second time in 2 years that Southampton has conceded 9 goals.
In a year.
In a year, but over 2 seasons. But looking over their lineup, they had quite a lot of changes. I think Kyle Walker-Peters wasn't on the right anymore. Kane Ramsey came in.
Yeah, there are quite a few youngsters.
Yes, they had Vestergaard wasn't in. Jack Stevens came in for them. Some Swiss kid, Alexander Jankovic, who happens to be black and who was also the butt of all the abuse. Yeah. Came in for them.
He got the red card most in 2 minutes.
Yes, he got the red card in 2 minutes and got the abuse from the Southampton fans. But yeah, essentially from a Southampton point of view, I felt like there were too many changes to try experiment with against a team such as Man United.
It was forced changes. They had to put a lot of
I'll stop you there. With the right back, they recently gave Jan Valerie, the second string right back, they gave him away on loan. I think a lot of a lot of the changes that were made were quite self-inflicted. Because they didn't need to loan out that guy. They had a decent bench, and Nathan Redmond. Centre backs, I don't blame them.
Fair enough.
They got hands. But yeah, it is what it is. Second 9 of the year. Congratulations. Well, not second 9 of the year. Second 9 within the space of the year. Yeah. All right, then from these fixtures, I will move on to the ones.
Wait, guys. Was it a good performance from United? Was it a good performance?
Well done. Spectacular.
Well done. Okay.
Spectacular.
Okay. Now we can move on. I just wanted to hear that.
I'll give you that.
I just wanted to hear that.
I don't know what you thought you were going to hear, but it was a spectacular performance from you guys. So we move on to Saturday, 6th of February. It was a game against Aston Villa versus Arsenal. It was at Villa Park. The game ended 1-0 to Aston Villa. Nothing much happened in that game besides one goal from Ollie Watkins in the second minute. I'll start with the Arsenal supporter right next to me. Curtis, how do you view that game?
Individual error by Cedric, right back playing left back. I feel Arteta should rather move Saka into that space because Cedric is giving away goals and teams are attacking him on that side. They got an early goal, sat back, counter-attack the rest of the game. Well-deserved win by Southampton.
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa.
Yes.
And we're a confusing team where my team loses now.
I think we got hands for both of them. So.
Both of them, man. I'm not going to hop on about ref decisions. We should have won that game irrespective of whatever else happened in that game. Can they please, when we go 1-0 down, not bring Willian on the pitch? I'm tired of seeing that man on the pitch. That man lost the ball as many times as Partey did, right? Who played 74 minutes in 15 minutes. I do not want to see Willian on the pitch for a good 6 months. He's not on the pitch, I think we score. He goes on the pitch, we lose creativity. I don't know what they're doing. Arteta's forcing the man I don't like.
Interesting. Some more Willian slander. We'll never get enough of that. So, Lucas, what do you view of that game? What was your view?
I think it was, obviously from an Arsenal supporters end, it would have been a frustrating game, but obviously watching the game as a neutral, I thought a big tactic that Arteta plays is the physicality. Arsenal tends to look better when Partey is in the team because he can stand the pressure. Aston Villa is a physical team, right? So it was interesting to see that. I thought Aston Villa won the game, early goal, whatever, defended well, probably takes the 3 points rather than saying, it's a clear victory. But it was okay. This Arsenal team is up and down for me. I'm not too sure what their strengths really are. You know what I mean? So also again, I mean, coming out of decent form or thought they turned the form around and then two losses in a way, yeah.
Life hits you flat in the face.
Just get Willian off the pitch and you win games. That's all I can say.
From my view, I watched that game. There was a significant change in that game. Matt Ryan, new signing of a goalkeeper we brought in. He started his first game. And Cedric Soares starting I think it's his second game as left back. If you look at his previous game, I think it was against Man United. Previous. Yeah, it was the one before Wolves. He was given a lot of trouble because he was identified as the weak link. Same as Wolves, he was also identified as the weak link. Most of Wolves' attack came from his side. He caused the mistake by giving the pass that led to the goal. Other than that, it was a decent performance from Arsenal. There's nothing much to say. We lost
from just lacking bite.
Yeah,
lacking bite. I will say that I did like it when Lingard came on.
He was a positive.
I could see that there was 1 or 2 passes that he gave to Pepe where he was 1 or 2 loose passes. I'd like to see him start in place of Emil Smith Rowe in the next game. That's what I will say.
To give him a rest.
To give him a rest. Like, he's a young boy. Like, play, like, rotate it. You can't put, like, I think I said it, that we can't put the weight of the shoulders on a 20-year-old kid to start. Already Saka is overperforming. We're not going to get another 19, 20-year-old overperforming. Week in, week out. So give the boy a rest. Let him learn from more experienced players.
League position that it leaves you guys in?
Exactly what I was about to ask, wise ass. But
looking at the podcast, this guy is just trying to be petty.
But looking at Arsenal's league position after this game, I think they are 10th.
We were 10th after the game, but we're 11th as things stand.
Oh yes, due to yesterday's game, we are now 11th. We are on page 2. We don't feature. How does that make you feel?
Willian is our top assist. I think it makes me feel terrible.
Top assist.
In the Premier League, Willian's got the most assists. That man hasn't had an assist since game 2.
Okay. That is
But
disgusting.
he's got 3 assists for Arsenal.
Lucas, how does that make you feel as a rival supporter? Watching us crash and burn.
Look. I mean, I'm not going to shed a tear for the supporters of the team that always give mine the number 2, but just speaking to what it actually is. Obviously, Arsenal sitting in 11th is sort of a false position. Arsenal is not the 11th best team in the league. You know what I mean? But I can't place where Arsenal should be.
I agree with you.
You know what I mean? So there's things about the team that I like. I mean, Partey comes in, Partey looks good, but next to Partey, all of a sudden Xhaka looks good. Now he looks like the passer that you've had. I'm not a fan of Lacazette, but Aubameyang scores goals in this league. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of Pepe either, but Smith Rowe looks alright. Kieran Tierney.
Is it your Congolese blood eating on the Ivory Coast, man, dog? Why you hate Pepe?
I don't hate Pepe. I just don't think you can do one thing every game and expect to be.
But he scores doing that one thing.
How many?
He's already got 3 goals in the 3 starts that he had.
Well done. We're 20-something games in.
Yeah, but if you weren't playing, and then when you play in a team that's, I was saying Pepe lacks creativity around him, and he starts scoring, the one thing that he does works.
No, I think it's limited. I think it's
as limited as Rashford.
Hey?
He's as limited as Rashford.
Sure. No, actually, Rashford's a much better player than that guy.
He's not.
Fair enough.
He's not.
Then that's a difference of opinion. But to me, Pepe, I'm not even hating on him. I'm just saying, if you're trying to be where Arsenal thinks they should be, is Pepe the guy? To me,
I'd like
I'm
to
not
interrupt
sure.
you guys, since you were saying that Pepe is better than Rashford. I'm going to be objective. Pepe has scored 4 goals, and Rashford has scored a magical 8.
And 16 in all comps.
What makes Pepe better than Rashford?
Look at the games. He's played less games. Pepe's probably played half the amount of games.
So the guy who can't get picked by his own team is better than the guy who's getting picked in the team higher up the league. Come on.
I have an issue with my manager not playing him because I think he's one of the better players and he didn't play him. So that's an issue away from football itself.
Okay, but if he's not playing, where do you get the thing to say he's better than the guy that is playing? He's looking better on the bench.
When he does play, he looks better.
Fair enough. I just don't personally rate him.
In all fairness, just because your parents called you to come back during the nighttime soccer games in the street and you've scored less games, it doesn't take away from the fact that you scored less games.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but when we just play, we don't only judge on stats, because if we're going to do that, then LA sure is the greatest Premier League striker ever. Not to me.
KDB rant?
No, but KDB rant, he also doesn't have the best number of the assists that I gave him. He's the best.
But then that is stats, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm saying he's the best of this generation, like I said in that argument.
Oh,
he's
fair
not
enough.
the best ever.
Oh, fair enough.
His numbers don't match to the best ever.
Okay.
Yeah. I think in conclusion with that game, Arsenal was surprised.
It's their defense.
He
shored up the defense quite a bit, but the timing of the goals that they concede.
No,
individual errors.
It's individual errors. But you got to put some blame on the manager as well. He gave away Said Kolasinac on loan. He gave away Ainsley Maitland-Niles on loan. 2 replacement left backs. What do you expect? If you're going to put a guy who's traditionally played right back, he's essentially Cedric Soares is our backup for both positions. If someone gets injured, if left back and right back gets injured, I hate to see what's going to happen for Arsenal.
But that's why I said I felt you should have played Saka instead of Suarez, especially for the next game.
I get you there. But yeah, looking at the other games of the day, Man United went against Everton. Very interesting game. Went down to the wire. Man United drew 3-3 with Everton. The goals came from Bruno, as usual. Cavani.
Against mid-table teams. Oh, top 4 teams for now. Well done.
And Scott McTominay. And from the Everton side of you, it was Dominic Calvert-Lewin, James, and Decore. Let me start with the Man United supporter. How do you feel about that? Tell me how you feel.
So I actually don't feel that bad about the game, but it was obviously it's a weird one. First not 45 minutes, let's say 43, basically while Pogba's on the pitch. United had that game hands down. Pogba's running that game. Pogba gets a thigh injury, comes off, my boy Fred comes on.
I think I actually noticed a rant on Twitter about that from you, where you clearly express your disdain for Fred.
Like, if I ever wanted to make my point about Fred, nah, or just basic my thing about United, nah, is watch that first half and second half. Pogba in the center controlled the game, or whatever. He's playing next to Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay next to Pogba. All you have to do is win it, give it to Pogba. Game. But then Fred and Scott McTominay play together. They win it, give it to. So sorry. If you don't believe me on the rant, please watch first half, second half as to Maguire. Maguire at the back playing next to Pogba. He's a good passer at the back. Next to Fred and McTominay, Maguire's now in midfield because those two cannot pass.
Oh, I thought it was Maguire.
No, Maguire's good. Maguire's dope. Maguire's dope. I love Maguire.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
3 goals, but you love him. Okay. Let's go.
Yeah.
Curtis, what do you think?
Our defense is not that great.
Defense.
One thing I'd like to note.
Most expensive. Sorry. But 3 goals nonetheless.
One thing I would like to note is Scott McTominay is improved. I've never liked that man. But defensively he's doing alright. I know it's 3-3 in that game, but it's a terrible defense at United. That shift those 3 goals. Alright. He's starting to score more often. I like him better than Darren Fletcher already. Because I never liked Darren Fletcher. So Scott McTominay, if he does go on this thing, they're both defensive midfielders.
No. I'm just saying, he's already got your hate weighing him down. Yeah, clearly you like him. But anyways, let's go.
Yeah, so Scott McTominay, if he does continue improving like this, he might be a good Scottish player. But he mustn't get a big head and think he's prime, whoever I forget, central defensive midfielder who'll just do a good job. Alright, so Man United are improving. Players I do like in the squad. Scott McTominay a bit. I do like Pogba, of course. 4-time Serie A champion, World Cup winner. Please don't compare him to these Farmers League level talents in the Premier League and think players are better than him. I forgot the players' names I want to rant on now, but it's cool. Rashford is okay. Cavani has proven that he's a goal scorer. Greenwood is looking like he's going to be great. So Man United squad does look like it might have a bit of balance up front. They just need to find somebody better to replace Pogba when Pogba gets injured, especially coming from that deep line role.
Before we wrap up, I actually have a question for the Man United supporter in this. It seems as though Edison Cavani has been favored over Anthony Martial. How do you feel about this? And can you give us a little bit more insight of what's going on in your coach's little mind?
Yeah, so I think I'm very happy that Cavani starts over Martial. But Cavani's 33.
Yeah.
Right. So I think Oli has been taking a quite slow and measured approach with this team. So obviously now last season Martial is properly put as a number 9. Oli works with him, tries to get him tap-ins, trying to get those goals or whatever. But you can see the difference of a specialist in that position when Cavani plays. Cavani he's very active, his movement, his all-round game. And, Anthony Martial, I think I think Mason Greenwood's going to take his place. He shouldn't even be looking at Cavani. He's lost that battle. Mason Greenwood is taking his place. Diallo might even.
Interesting view. Uncle Curtis, I would like to ask you a question from an Everton point of view. It seems as though the regular performers, not the regular performers, but the stars came through for them in Dominic Calvert-Lewin and James. Would you see this as a change for the Everton team, as in like it's up from here? Or do you have any critiques that you'd like to offer?
No, it's going to change from what, yeah. We're going to be mid-table.
The reason I ask you this is because you had a rant earlier during our episodes about James and how you don't view him as, a spectacular.
Quote unquote, La Liga sucks.
Yeah.
End quote.
I actually remember that. So I'm asking you, this was a big game for Everton. Do you see James as being, coming up and stepping up to the podium?
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's one assist. He's probably had one since the last time I gave that La Liga rant and did nothing in between.
Okay.
Bar an injury, cool. But it's one game. Give me 2-3 games. Everton have been winning games 1-0, drawing 1-1. I think they lost recently. I forgot who it is.
And
so I think even my problem is, guys, players hit form and then fans start thinking that these are world-class players.
Yes.
Dominic Patrick Calvert-Lewin does not crack a top 14.
Throw in all those names, those English names. Patrick, Dominic.
Liam.
Yes, he does not crack the top 14. Yes, he's got a lot of goals this season, but he's overperforming. Yeah. Right? I could be wrong, and he could go on to kick on to what you call this thing, be a great player. But I'm saying I don't see it because his mentor was Duncan Ferguson. Get out of here and tell me he's going to be a great player. He's going to be a Duncan Ferguson type of player. He's going to score headers, and he's going to do that.
I hate to say this, but I agree with you. He had a hot start, but then he sizzled out as the season went.
I'll take him as a second striker, not as my leading striker for a whole season.
Yeah.
Everton's equalizer for 3-3 was like in the 94th minute. It was like the last kick of the game. Even the goalkeeper was up.
Yeah.
I think it was United's mistakes a lot more than...
Yes. Indeed. Let's move on to the Sunday fixtures, the 7th of Feb. I'll start with your favorite team, Uncle Curtis. Tottenham Hotspurs went against West Brom at their stadium, and they took that game 2-0. Harry Kane came back as a surprise feature and scored in that game, along with Heung-min Son. Obviously, West Brom did nothing under Sam Allardyce. If you look at that game, I'll take it to you, Lucas. Clearly, we're being shown over the last couple of games that Harry Kane is vital to this side. Do you think that changes? No, I don't think it changes. I think he's as vital as he's been to this team. He seems to be in an attacking position, the only player that can take the ball, hold the ball, turn, and then pass it forward. Because obviously on the counter now they're countering, 2-3 attackers against more defenders. So just holding that ball makes a difference. And nobody else can really do that for them. Plus he can score goals. Yes. Plus he can hit the assist. Plus he can, do all of that. But West Brom is really, dismal, right now. I think it was a good performance by Spurs. Yes.
I think it was a good performance by Spurs, but against West Brom,
a struggling side.
A struggling side, yeah.
I say that because I think that it might be, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was one game in the last 4 matches. And
Spurs.
Yes. They won one game in the last 4 matches, and that game was against Sheffield before this game, obviously. And that was around the time that Harry Kane got injured. So clearly, it seems as though winning formula for Spurs is Harry Kane. Uncle Curtis, I would like to ask you if you had any thoughts on that game. I know you didn't watch that game because it's Spurs.
I did.
Yes.
You watched it?
Did you watch?
My boy Niles.
Oh, yes. I see the feature of Ainsley Maitland-Niles in West Brom.
Yeah.
I won't necessarily ask you. No, actually, I will. I will ask you, what did you think of his first performance?
It was okay. He's in a terrible squad. It was an okay performance.
Did he play in midfield?
Yeah. He played in midfield.
So
he did put in a couple of crosses. He did get up the field. So I'll say it's an okay performance. I'm going to sidetrack a bit, yeah. Sam Allardyce. I remember when he was hired by West Brom. They're saying Sam Allardyce is a specialist in saving teams from relegation. Time's up.
The Messiah.
Retire. Football has moved past you. All right? Nobody cares about that long ball defensive thing because everybody does that thing now.
Yes.
So your number's been caught out. I remember when he said that Arsenal are relegation contenders with them. And then Arsenal went on that game and then Arsenal gave them 4-0 or something like that. And then he said, no, I was misquoted. Sam Allardyce. Time's up.
To be fair, we're on page 2. But
but you're not relegation contenders anymore. Right? But he needs to retire because
glory.
What you call this thing? When I look at it, Sam Allardyce has conceded 28 goals, right, in 10 games, right, which is more than Slavan Bilic conceded in 13 games. I think West Brom made a big mistake by buying Slavan Bilic. He got them up there from the Championship. This is the first time I actually agree with some people when they say he needed more time. Because they love giving that excuse to English managers when they're feeling at the bottom of the Premier League. Right? He needed more time because he got more out of that team. He drew with that team against Man City 0-0 at the Hawthorns. And then Allardyce comes in and they're getting 5-0 left, right and centre. Football has moved on from Sam Allardyce's tactics. That's why he's been struggling to get a job ever since he left. He thinks he's a top 6 manager. That man is a top 15 club manager. And that's where it ends. He overperformed with Boltons and the likes, which is why he always gets fired at even clubs that are slightly above mid-level, like West Ham. His type of football is boring. If you want to come and argue that, no, it's football, I'm not watching this.
He has a 100% record for England when he was England manager.
Hooray for him. Hooray for him.
One game.
Yes, looking at the fixtures of the Sunday games, we'll move on. I'll skip the main game and move on to Chelsea vs Sheffield. Chelsea played Sheffield at Sheffield's home, and they won 2-1. Goals from Mason Mount and Jorginho, another penalty. Timo Werner being man of the match of that game. Curtis, let me ask you, how do you view that game?
I'd like to first off start apologizing to Mason Mount, who's proving to be a decent player now. Under Frank Lampard, I don't know what that man put you in that team for, but under Tuchel, where it looks like you have direction and structure, you're proving to be a decent player. Don't think you're full forward yet, but you're decent.
Yeah.
Right? Chelsea's performance in that game is okay, expected. It's still new manager bounce. I might change my opinion about Mason Mount. You never know. I don't like English football players that much because I don't think they're that skillful in the first place. So we'll see how it goes. It's another win, new manager bounce. Let's see when they start playing higher up opposition. I know they played Spurs, but it's Spurs without Harry Kane. Let's see when they start playing higher up opposition and see what happens.
All right, good. Lucas, I'd like to ask you a question. It seems as though Sheffield would traditionally give problems via McGoldrick to Chelsea. How would you view this performance from Chelsea if we look at it overall from also a point of the defense and attack, it seems? What would you think of this performance from Chelsea?
Yeah, it's a decent performance, right? Decent bordering on good because Sheffield United is a hard team to play against, right? And I know they've lost a lot of games or what, but they're always in the games. A decent performance because that's the type of game you just have to get over the line. Look, it's a penalty that wins them the game.
Yeah.
It's Timo Werner still not having his shooting boots on, but more effective in the game.
Yes.
I think he had to assist. Well, he won the penalty and he set up the other goal. Antonio Rudiger back in I think he's our own goal. Sorry. So I'm going to say he's looking good, but obviously it's not, the stats won't say when he has our own goal.
Yeah. He was unlucky from that point of view, but
yeah. So it's looking all right. Tuchel is really following the Antonio Conte blueprint. The 3-4-2-1.
Yeah.
So it's working out now, but three games, they really holding possession, Chelsea. In the games they play, they have a lot of ball. They not giving up too many chances, but they're not creating too many either.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's looking all right, but it's
because in that game, I think they had the same shots on target as Sheffield. So you can clearly see that although there is, they do have the possession stat, they don't have the scoring. But actually, from my point of view, it's a positive start from Chelsea.
Yeah.
Honeymoon phase nonetheless, but positive.
Yeah. There's still Kante to come back into the team, hey? Remember, Kante is just coming back.
The question is, will Kante fit into Tuchel's game plan?
He said he can't wait to work with Kante. He said I think his quote was, he's been waiting years to work with a player like Kante.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm happy for him.
He said Kante and Aspilicueta.
I'm happy for that little man. That's good. Then we move on to the Sunday fixture, the Super Sunday fixture. Liverpool went up against Manchester City. In that game, Liverpool were unfortunate to concede 4 goals. They scored 1. 2 goals from Ilkay Gundogan. Raheem Sterling went back and screwed those guys. And Phil Foden also was on the score sheet. Mohamed Salah penalty. Surprise.
Soft penalty.
Yeah, obviously. Actually, funny enough, you mentioned that. That was also another incident where it was the double jeopardy scenario. But
They gave a yellow.
it was, there's a clip. I'll find the clip.
John Stones is around him. He's not the last man.
But Ruben, they compared it to another red card where David Luiz did the same thing. Surprise, it's David Luiz. But where the player came essentially from that side and grabbed the striker.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
One player got a red card. Again, it's inconsistent refs. They're terrible. And you feel sorry for David Luiz.
But I think we're going off topic here.
Yeah. Judged on previous
Let's analyze the match. Uncle Curtis, what did you think of that performance?
Yeah, City. What are you saying, man? They gave them hands. Congratulations to City for beating Arsene Wenger's 13-game unbeaten, right, in a row. Pep is doing wonderful things in the Premier League now. Kept Liverpool fans quiet. Liverpool are still struggling to win at Anfield this year, so I don't know what to say much about that. Sterling was skinning Trent over there. I saw a comment on Twitter where somebody said that wingers go to test out their new skills on Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I actually noticed something very interesting. Now the pundits no longer have that view that Trent Alexander-Arnold is the best right back since Daniel Alves. I remember there was comparisons where they were saying that Trent Alexander-Arnold was better than Daniel Alves.
You can't defend, and these English pundits get too comfortable.
They get very excited. It was
world class very quickly.
It was
I
the
saw
first.
comments, somebody saying Foden is world class. I'm like, guys, he's great. He's got potential, but let's not brandish that word out there.
It was actually the first time I've watched a football analyst in a long time. But yeah, Lucas, I'd like to ask you 2 questions actually. What do you think of the Manchester City performance, number 1? And then what implications do you think this game has on the title race?
The City performance, number 1, I think City was very, very good. I think, outside of the penalty where Salah did get in behind Zinchenko and Diaz brought him down, there's not really a lot where City's being pulled out of position. Right? And then also City scored 4 goals. Ilkay Gundogan missed a penalty.
Yeah. Could have been way worse.
It could have been way worse, and there was a couple of misses here and there. I think City grew into the game, took over the game. I think, like we said, Sterling was burning Arnold, but Foden started as a number 9, and then later in the game they moved him out to the right. As soon as they moved him into the right, he finished Robertson.
Everything changed.
He finished Robertson.
You could clearly see that. Yeah, that was a spectacular performance from the English City players.
Yeah.
But also horrible performance by Alisson. He gave away 3 of those goals.
Yeah, fair point. It was a rare evening for Alisson.
He made the same mistake twice.
You
Yes.
say rare evening, but he's got more errors leading to goals than Kepa. I wouldn't say it's a rare mistake. Chelsea fans, you're being hard on Kepa.
Yeah.
He's making less mistakes that lead to goals than Alisson. So
I think I think without context that sounds ridiculous.
I think
Liverpool. Sorry.
No, hold on. I'm actually attacking him as well. I think from a Liverpool's point of view, you must remember that Alisson hasn't played a majority of the season with proper centre backs. He's playing with Fabinho and Jordan Henderson. In this game, they played as centre backs. You clearly don't have players that you can trust to push the ball up. So I think it's a different situation for him to get used to. So I think the numbers will probably go up higher because he's in a different situation.
He couldn't get a 5-yard pass. He gave the ball to a City player within 5 yards of it. You can't blame the centre backs. That's terrible passing.
That is terrible, but to say he's Kepa, that's why I'm like, this guy's not Kepa.
They need to start using. Now, but Chelsea. Put Kepa back in the goals.
I think to compare him to Kepa is a bit harsh.
No, he's better than Kepa. He's just not as great as Chesney.
Random Arsenal name brought up, but
he's the Juventus.
That guy's a Juventus name anymore.
Yeah.
He sends you guys a postcard.
He sings for us every game, though.
Yeah, he sends you a postcard, but his name is at Juventus.
Dog, he still loves Arsenal.
No, he does, but his paycheck's at Juventus. I think let's just take a little break and we'll carry on and discuss our next topic from here. But yeah, we'll see you just now, guys.